is this. In the city, where steel is molded from sweat and fire and pounded out by the ton, they have their own flames to ignite. Out of the wheelhouse, into the sky. The American dream, airborne. Part science, part symbol. Of power, of possibilities. The home run. Succeed in any walk of life, and you've hit one out of the park.
Well, we're gonna get out of here. And that is gone. Fly way out of here.
In the Steel City tonight, success is measured by how many baseballs you send into the seats. And with every homer they hit, all of us go along for the ride. The Home Run Derby is next.
Welcome to the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Are you ready for some long ball? From the Baltimore Orioles, baseball's new Iron Man, 1,000+ consecutive games and counting. He also hits home runs. He's got 17. He won this event 2 years ago. Shortstop, Miguel Tejada. One of baseball's best pure hitters, bar none. Also able to excel at several positions this year, first base. From the National League champion Houston Astros, 24 home runs, Lance Berkman. Speaking of several positions, he does it too. This year, third base for the Florida Marlins. He's only 23. It's already his third All-Star game. 15 homers, Miguel Cabrera. Twice he's hit over 40 home runs when he was with the Angels. Oh, by the way, he was MVP of the 2002 World Series. Now slugging him out for the Toronto Blue Jays. 23 homers. Third baseman Troy Glaus.
Good luck, man.
He has done everything right for the Mets since he got there, that's for sure. At only 23, one of the leaders of the team with the best record in the National League. With 20 homers, third baseman David Wright. He was the MVP of last October's World Series, proving when he's healthy, he's one of the best. 25 homers at the break. Right fielder of the world champion Chicago White Sox, Jermaine Dye.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
He leads the majors with 31 home runs. So many of them in his last at-bat with the game on the line. Well on his way to his third straight 40-plus season. DH, first base of the AL East leading Boston Red Sox. Big Pappy, David Ortiz. Last year he was Rookie of the Year in the National League, even though he hardly played until July. This year he's an All-Star. What's next? 28 homers at the break. First baseman of the Philadelphia Phillies, Ryan Howard.
I went the wrong way. That's all right, though. We can do that. It's an all-star game. You can do that.
Twin brother.
Here's what the rules state. You get 10 outs. Swings that don't leave are an out. The top 4 home run totals of the 8 will advance. Round 2, the home runs will carry over from the first round, so it's your cumulative total from the first 2. Each player again gets 10 outs, and the top 2 home run totals will advance to the championship round, where the slate is wiped clean. It is 0-0.
Right down the right field line, over the right field wall, which is, 21 feet. There it is, the Allegheny River. And the boats are out there just to kind of take a look. If you hit it right down the line, Harold, it's, I say only, 456 feet into the water on a fly. Now, the park opened in 2001. Only Darrell Ward in Houston has, like San Francisco, wouldn't it? Although only one has gone in on the fly, many have bounced in. And so tonight, we'll see how early and how often the Allegheny River, maybe it'll crest about a foot higher than it is tonight.
Well, there's a couple guys in this contest, left-handed hitters, Ryan Howard and David Ortiz.
of anybody in the big leagues. If it's going to get hit out there, these two are right on the list.
And so Miguel Tejada is up. As we said, he won it 2 years ago in Houston. And here, there's a very interesting guy on the mound, isn't there, Harold?
Yeah, you know, Ramon Henderson is the pitching coach. Last year, you saw the display that Bobby Abreu put on. And so he's been recruited. He's throwing to 3 guys tonight. He's going to throw to Tejada. He's going to throw to David Ortiz. And Ryan Howard, who is his own player with the Phillies, is sitting here going, they're going to wear him out. There's a conspiracy. So we've already got controversy before the first pitch is thrown.
Because Howard is the last one to come up. So Tejada taking his time. And Henderson is now the designated pitcher of those who want to win this thing, I guess. I mean, last year was unbelievable with 24 in the first round for Bobby Abreu.
Bajita, bajita.
Again, the rules. Any ball hit that does not go out of the park for a homer is an out. Doesn't matter if it's a line shot off the wall. Doesn't matter if it's a base hit up the middle, Tejada, or like that, a foul ball, that's an out.
Well, I find it interesting with Ramon. You know, they had the World Baseball Classic. So David Ortiz, Dominican. You got Tejada. They're on that same team. So he was throwing BP to these guys.
I see.
And so they said, you know what? I like his BP. I want him if I can get it.
I don't know if he got enough of this. Yes, he did. Wow. That ball looked like it was in on the fist a little bit, but I guess it doesn't matter.
That shows you how strong he is. You know, not big in stature. He's only about 5'10", but very strong.
Gets under this one, sends it to the same spot in left center. No. Not quite. Hey, what a throw for the kids out there shagging fly balls.
Well, those are the kids with the pitch hit and run contest for Major League Baseball, and one of the rewards they get to be in here are the national champions. They all get to come out and shag during Home Run Derby.
This will be a pop-up, so this will be 3 outs, but still you get 10 outs. So, Carl, what's your view from out in the Euchre seats?
I tell you what, Boomer, I think the first observation is that foul ball went a mile, and then the ball that didn't look like it was going to get out did that. It seems, Joe, to be carrying a little bit here tonight.
Well, I definitely think the ball is carrying. I still believe the left-handers have an edge here.
Another one that comes up just short. The left-handers have an advantage,
big edge.
I think.
I think so.
So Tejada's got 1 home run and 4 outs. What was your first observation? That ball went long, that first one.
It looked like he was trying to fight it off and hit it to right field, and all of a sudden it's someone's in his left field seats is getting a souvenir. That's, you know, hey, it's a home run derby, man. They might have something different with the balls, huh, Joe?
Another one to left field, and Tejada's going to have his second home run of the night. Way back. You know, you think about Tejada as Ortiz looks on, and certainly in Baltimore, it's been a disappointing season for him. He's been frustrated a lot of times, hasn't he?
You know, he's such a passionate player. He loves the game so much. He loves to win that, you know, anytime they're not playing up to his, you know, expectations, I think he feels he even wanted to go someplace else in the winter. But I like the fact that he stayed there because I think he can help turn that franchise around.
His 5th out. How much of the Palmeiro and the B12 you think affected his personality on the field? Because he was one of the most enigmatic, energetic, enthusiastic guys out.
It definitely had an effect on him. I mean, anytime you're accused of something, I mean, or even insinuated, it puts a little taint on you and how you look at other people, your view of the other people around you.
Mike Guerrero getting set. He's got 6 outs and 2 home runs, Crucky, so far. You know him as his personality. Chris mentioned the number of consecutive games he's played. He really came to identify the Orioles almost post-Ripken.
Well, he has, and that's the thing about this organization, Carl. You know, if they made him promises, we're going to go out and get some people to help you win, and didn't, then, you know, that's a different story. I understand why he wanted to be traded.
2 home runs, 7 outs. Let's go back down to the field, Boom.
All right, guys, thank you. So Tejada has to dig in because 2 home runs aren't going to do it, and he knows that.
Well, he's been here before, and he knows if you get on a nice little roll, you take your time, you get patient, you get a good pitch to hit. But I thought it was interesting, the observation they made about what Joe was saying about how difficult it is with the right-handed hitters. During batting practice, David Ortiz, Miguel Tejada, and Jermaine Dye were all sitting out there talking about the ballpark, and he was laughing at them because the two right-handers had a more difficult field to hit it into.
Well, the fence is shorter, but the distance longer to go out to left for the right-handed hitters. So Tejada with 8 outs, and we'll show you in a minute. When you get to 9 outs, they're going to use a different ball, and he's going to be at it right now. And here it is. It's a special gold ball throughout the night. The Century 21 gold balls put into play for every home run hit on the, when you have only 1 out left. Major League Baseball and Century 21 will donate a combined $21,000 to Easter Seals and the Boys and Girls Club of America. So last year plenty was doled out, so there's usually special gold and white baseballs. And Tejada knows that he needs several golden home runs here.
Yes,
right?
he does. Yes, he does. But I think it's tremendous. There's some money right there.
Solid gold there. Gone. Maybe that's what he needs, the gold ball.
Well, you can get on a roll, and he can get on a good streak and make some money. Sometimes you need the incentive to give back to charity. Major League Baseball does a lot of that with home runs throughout the whole year, and I think it's great.
Needs a few more out of the gold. We have 8 contestants to start, 4 from each league. The top 4 will move on to the next round, and that'll do it. So Miguel Tejada, thus far, he needs some good pitching coming up is what he needs to the other batters, right?
Yes, he does. And you got to hope somebody really struggles and not able to get on a roll, but it doesn't look real good with 3 home runs.
Lance Berkman now steps in. You see his 24 home runs leads the Astros. As it was discussed by Chris, when we went to break, he's going to hit lefty.
He has a short porch out here in left field, and why not give it a whirl? If it messes up the swing, I'm sure the Astros aren't going to be very happy.
No, they're not. He's been their major source of power. 1 swing, 1 out for Lance Berkman. Looked at the Astros yesterday. They hit 2 swings. Now, I thought there should be some patience involved here.
Yeah, well, he's going up there. I think he just wants to get in the rhythm. He's trying to find the rhythm. I think one of the things you think about is everybody's trying to make sure the pitch is perfectly thrown where they want it. I think you go up there and get loose. If you find one spot, you get in a groove. I think you see guys hit 7, 8 home runs in a row. I think that's what you have to find, a groove more than find the right pitch.
Taking a deep breath after 3 quick swings and 3 quick outs. Have the Astros found a groove with Clemens back? And there's his 4th swing, and this one is tailing foul. Out of the yard it goes on a hop into the river. Now the question is, yes, it's a fair ball and a home run. So Lance Berkman, the first to get a ball wet. The next swing, 4th out. All right, Boom, we saw 1 get wet. As Berkman continues, we'll go down to UNHR.
Well, that one was right around the pole.
Oh, that's controversy early. I had that foul.
Doesn't matter. It's wet. We know that much. So Berkman, who leads the National League with 79 RBIs, he has one of the sweetest swings in the game. Would you agree with me?
Oh, absolutely. He's so effortless, just a nice, easy swing. Now, I talked to Lance earlier, all the controversy we were talking about, should he hit right, left, whatever, not want to mess up his swing. He said, if I'm not that good a hitter to be able to make an adjustment when I get back, I shouldn't be in the All-Star game. So I guess that settles that.
Well, he's the one-time National Player of the Year in college in '97 at Rice University. Texas boy through and through, and everything big in Texas. They need a big output late in this at-bat from Lance Berkman, and that'll be an out.
Well, his approach, his philosophy, talking to him, he said, I want to hit down on the ball and get backspin. So it's going to look like I'm swinging down on it. You can't swing up. He seems to think you don't want to have an uppercut. But a couple balls he's hit out, and that one, he might have made an adjustment already.
He almost KO'd the pitcher.
Guess that's a sign of saying, throw me some better pitches.
Well, he's got 8 outs. He's got to get moving. All of a sudden, Tejada with 3, the leader in the clubhouse. Hard to believe that. Wow. Now, this one has a good shot. There it goes to right center field. Back it goes. Back. Oh, yeah. Ball kept climbing and going. So 2 for Berkman. Hoping it's not too late.
Well, it doesn't take much to get on a nice groove. And neither one of these guys, Berkman or Tejada, have been consistent. we didn't see back-to-back 2, 3, 4 like you will see before the
We will see it very soon. We're all spoiled last year with Abreu. His home run, by the way, the last one, 456 feet. So now we've got the gold ball in there, and that was helpful for Miguel Tejada. Will this one carry far enough? He's taking dead aim at our set out there. He just missed them, but hit the seats. Be on your toes there, Ravi and Crucky and Joe. That was close.
It was close coming at them, and they got that little net there blocking them from getting hit.
Well, thinking of Berkman with Houston, means like the grab you almost made last year on a home run in Houston in the World Series out there on our set. Uh-oh. And so Lance Berkman will be like Miguel Tejada with 3.
A little slow start to the Derby as far as big numbers go.
Well, I don't think anyone's finding their rhythm. I think they're being more patient, trying to find a pitch in their zone. But I think, again, it's more important to get in a rhythm than it is to find the zone. Because I think they can hit the ball out in any zone if they get in their rhythm.
When you look at young players, Joe, and you think of potential and talent, and you see Cabrera, what potential does he have?
Well, he's got, I would think of Ken Griffey Jr.
Really?
Who came to the league, 19, 20 years old. He looked like he was a star right away, and he was. And I think of Cabrera that way. I mean, you'll look up, 10, 12 years from now, and he'll be close to 500 home runs, if not there. So that's the way I view him, just like I did Ken Griffey Jr.
First swing, and that one looks like it's going to stay in the ballpark for Cabrera. That's pretty good company from Miguel Cabrera. He of the Florida Marlins. A little incident yesterday, John and Joe, we saw with a pitcher who appeared to show him up on the field. Is that what he was so upset about?
Yeah, he was definitely upset. The pitcher basically said he didn't give him a good effort. That's what he was, and he felt like he did give the effort. It was a tough hop. He felt like he played it well, but, you never show another teammate up on the field. We all know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame him for going after his pitcher. You just wish it would have been behind closed doors so the cameras couldn't catch it. But I don't blame him. He's the veteran on this team at 23 years old. But, they listen to him when he speaks.
1 home run, 2 outs as Cabrera continues. Let's go to Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
I can tell you one guy who's probably rooting for Mr. Cabrera, and that'd be Ivan Rodriguez's former teammate with the Marlins when they won the World Series in 2003. Pudge, he was just a rookie back then. How have you seen his hitting develop?
Well, he got a tremendous improvement. I think Miguel is a tremendous hitter. He's very smart. With the age that he have right now, he's one of the best hitters in the game right now. And I'll tell you what, he got big chances today to win the whole thing. But we got David Ortiz. He's a tough guy, but I'll go with my guy.
Yeah, Poppy can hit if you, Kenny. Let's talk about the Tigers for a sec. Your first 2 years in Detroit, they were among the worst in the league. Now you've got the best record at the half. Tell me what's transpired that's changed things so quickly.
I think it was the attitude that we have. I think with what Jim Leland brings us to the team, it was a lot of things very positive, and what we're doing, just play the game hard. He just tell us to give a strong effort, hard effort every day, and that's what we're doing in the field. And the team is very unit, and that's probably the reason why that we're doing good so far.
Boomer Pudge is the starting catcher for the AL, and his battery mate will be starting pitcher Kenny Rogers. First time Detroit's ever had 2 starters in the All-Star game in the battery.
Thank you, Bonnie. That's a franchise been around for a long, long time. Just seeing Pudge, he was at the plate in the 10th inning of that great All-Star game played here in Pittsburgh in '94. Probably the best All-Star game in the last quarter century, partly because there was no World Series. Like, that was it. McGriff hit the 2-run homer in the 9th. Fergosi managed beautifully. Hit it off Lee Smith. Speaking of homers, Cabrera, no doubts, this one gone. And then in the 10th inning, remember Moises Alou with the double, and Tony Gwynn coming home like a little kid, slid in ahead of the throw. Pudge was catching. That was a great All-Star game at Three Rivers, huh?
Some great moments in this area, period, in Pittsburgh. I'm watching Cabrera hit, back to him here. Watch his front foot, no stride hardly at all, just a rock back and let it fly. He's got tremendous power.
It's gone. The home run before that, Harold, was 468. So with 4 homers, he already has the most of Tejada and Berkman, and now him. How about 3 All-Star appearances already, and he's 23?
Well, he's amazing. I thought Joe's comparison to Ken Griffey Jr. was special because I played with Ken when he was 19 and he came up, and it reminds me a lot of what Miguel's going through. A lot of people were demanding a lot of interviews of Ken, and they thought he was immature because he didn't know how to handle those things. That's tough for a young kid. And now And he became the franchise of the Mariner organization at 23. Very similar comparisons to these two guys.
Well, how about his leap on the postseason stage? The second youngest man ever hit a home run in the postseason, Andrew Jones, who's here with the Braves, the youngest. So in the NLCS that year, he hit it off of Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, and Carlos Zambrano. And oh, by the way, in the World Series, it went off of Roger Clemens. Hello.
Hello. After Clemens had knocked him down, he stepped back in there and said, I'm going to take you the opposite way at that.
Yeah, that one obviously for the out. 7 outs, 3 to go. Cabrera with 4 home runs. Last year, second in hits in the league. 198, only second to Derek Lee of the Cubs.
Everybody else, and there it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Did that keep going?
You know how strong he is? He missed that ball. From down here, he missed that. And that ball ended up the second deck of the overlook over there in left field.
Left field line is 325 here at PNC Park. That will not keep going.
Now, if that goes out, Boomer, we're out. We're out of here.
That home run was 458, the last one, the one before that. And speaking of home runs, how about the tear that Albert Pujols was on before he got injured, huh?
Boy, that was something special. He's going to still put up some huge numbers when it's all said and done.
This one's, man, that ball had hair on it.
Well, welcome to the home run derby. This is the way it's supposed to be. He's got 6, and he's on a nice roll right now. This is what Joe was talking about. We're waiting for a player to get into a good groove.
Well, there's another one, sending it way back to left field. Back, and long gone. 7 homers for Cabrera.
I'm looking for that scoreboard. I want to see him take one off the scoreboard up there.
471 on that one, Harold. Well, he's taking aim at it. There it goes. Oh, he heard you, though.
He lined it up. He squared it up.
Troy Glaus coming up soon, watching. Cabrera now.
Ouch.
That one hurts.
Well, he's got himself into a nice little sweet groove, though.
And now the gold ball is in there again.
Now the gold baseball.
Young man from Venezuela. Where's the number of one of his heroes? Tony Perez, 24.
Little baby face, man. You see his face? He looks like a little
23.
kid. Man.
They're all babies. Is this one babied, or has it got enough to go out in center field? Hey! Gone!
I'd be smiling, too, if I knew I had a chance at $250,000.
There's Jose Reyes, a young man with the Mets. The Mets have all those players in the National League. All the hitters for the National League tonight. Ryan Howard, 26. Berkman, 29. Cabrera and David Wright, 23. We're seeing the new guard in the senior circuit. Is this far enough? Caught. Good showing by Miguel Cabrera of the Florida Marlins, your leader, with 9 home runs. This guy's a high-def home run swinger. That would be Troy Glaus. You know him from the Angels. In the introduction, we reminded folks he was MVP of that 0-2 World Series with the Angels, and the Giants had that slugfest. He's back to being him, if you will.
He's a sleeper in this contest. Troy's been in home run contests before, other than the home run derby, so he may not have gotten any last time he was in this, but he's hit some in the other ones before.
You know, he's been in the majors so long. We talked about Berkman, and he was the college player of the year back in '97 at Rice. How about Troy Glaus at UCLA? I mean, he was absolutely amazing. That one doesn't quite get out. Broke Mark McGwire's single-season Pac-10 home run record when he had 34 one year. I mean, he's a guy that's had 40 a couple times in the bigs.
And he did that all playing at shortstop in college. So
yes.
There's one.
Oh, wow. Down the line. Yikes. In there for a home run, way up there and gone.
Maybe the scoreboard kid right here. If he gets into one.
That was 450 down the line. It's only 325 down the left field line. But if you can straighten it out and hit it, well, you hit it between dead left field and the line, I mean, he's got the power to miss and go out.
Yes, he does. And the ball's carrying tonight. I mean, the wind's slightly blowing to left field, but not enough to really affect anything right now.
Now, Glaus trying to be patient. There's an uppercut swing, which I mean by a classic home run swing. You think Toronto's in there for keeps in the AL East? I think so. You think it's a three-team race to the end?
Yeah, they are. They're definitely in it. And I think they're gaining confidence as they've watched the Red Sox go on a nice streak, and they still hung with them, and the Yankees have sputtered up and down. But I think Toronto, you know, they made some nice additions. Now A.J. Burnett is back throwing. They feel good about themselves.
To left center field, not quite enough oomph. So 5 outs for Glaus. Ravi, maybe you can wave a ball in your direction.
We'd be happy to do that out here, Boomer. Watching Glaus, there's his 6th out, and at some point early, it almost looked like he was trying to slow things down, and now he finds himself pressing a little. Do you press with 6 outs?
Well, I would think you would, because you know you're running out of swings. But again, it's not about that. I think it's just about finding a groove, because again, these guys can hit a ball. The high ball they can hit out, the low ball they can hit out, in, out. It doesn't really matter once they find that groove. We saw that with Cabrera. All those pitches were not in the same spot. He can hit the ball out if you get in the groove.
Rookie, 7 outs. This is the guy that on Baseball Tonight you picked.
No, I thought I picked Miguel Cabrera myself, but you know, not to be a herald and change my mind real quick, but yeah, Troy Glaus didn't do me too well. But you know what? I had Carlos Lee last year. He didn't do too well either. So.
There's Cabrera, there's Glaus watching this one stay in the yard. So, Boomer, it is cumulative. You got to add the first 2 rounds, but he's got to do some damage just to get there.
Yeah, he does. And you know what, Carl? That's typical John Kruk, though. Putting it on me when he tried to change his pick. You believe that, Boomer?
I hate to say, yeah, I do believe.
See? I know what? Hasn't gotten that.
He's out there in the outfield, doesn't think anybody's listening, you know, trying to just slip it by.
We're on it. We're on it.
That will be an out. Kruk, what's the story here?
I didn't think Harold would pay attention to anyone else was saying but himself.
Oh, man.
See, that's why I step aside of this baseball thing. You guys go on, Ravi, you're in between these two.
I just thought it was interesting that Kruk invented a new term, pulling a Harold.
And I watch you guys every night, and I thought you got along so well.
Don't let the smiles fool you, Joe.
This one's not going to stay fair. It's a long way. It's not disappointing, huh?
Well, at least he got one this time. You know, last time he got shut out.
Paul LaDuca is going to throw to David Wright. Of course, LaDuca, the catcher of the New York Mets.
Little Farm, what would you rather have if you're a GM? Your guy hitting in the home run contest or throwing?
David Wright's first swing is going to come up a little short.
I'm sure there's a Will Pond somewhere watching this. It's like, uh-oh, what are we doing here? My catcher and my third baseman.
Great debate about the left sides of the infield for the Yankees and Mets as Wright gets into that one, and he's going to have his first home run. But the debate about, boy, Jeter and A-Rod, Wright and Reyes, and of course Reyes was an all-star who was hurt. You have a thought on that, Joe?
Yeah, I have a thought. I think it's too early to make that type of comparison. I mean, you got A-Rod, who's close to 500 home runs. You have Derek Jeter with 4 rings. It's kind of hard to compare guys who are just coming into their own to these kind of players. I mean, we're too quick to do that, I think.
How about Wright and Pujols then for MVP? We're okay with that?
Yes, I mean, you got to be okay with the MVP, because this guy is a solid guy in their lineup. He's been one of the leaders. But again, I say Pujols, I say Wright, I say Jose Reyes. I think Reyes makes that team go because he is such a dynamic force at the top of the lineup. But Wright is the guy that drives in the run. So I believe it's more difficult to drive in runs than it is to score runs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can score runs in any different way, shape, or form. An error, a wild pitch, anyway. But, the guys who can drive them in on a consistent basis and in the clutch.
Hooking, foul. 3 outs.
That to me is an astounding thing at what David Wright does. It seems like And the great ones do it. Joe did it when he played. You know, Tony Perez was great at it. The game slows down in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. That's why they excel.
Did he get that one? He got enough air underneath it, but perhaps too much? No, second deck for David Wright, so 2 home runs and 3 outs. How about the whole New York atmosphere that some people seem to be able to deal with as Wright takes another cut at it? Center field, Park won't hold it. Wright's on a roll. But you mentioned the stage, New York City.
Right. It's very difficult for most players to go in there, especially young players, to excel there. Just think about it. It's taken Reyes a little while to adjust. Wright walked right in. He fit right into the New York atmosphere, and I think he thrives on it. He loves being there.
And look at how comfortable he is. A buzz pitch, if you will, in a home run derby, and he laughed at LaDuca, and after he smiled, he got serious again and hit his 4th home run.
I think I took him, too.
Now he sit down, Tejada. Now it's time to take a little notice of what Wright is doing. Another long blast. His 5th home run. So Tom Glavine, his pitcher, who's here tonight, you saw him, says when asked about the chances for David Wright, make it 6. I don't think he's got much of a chance because he's a line drive hitter.
Well, he's hitting line drives. They're just long line drives.
His 6 moves him within 3 of Cabrera and puts him squarely into 2nd place. The 4th home run put him into 2nd place. There's another line drive, just a little short, so that'll be his 4th out and 6 home runs. How do you stay grounded, Joe, when you're a guy like this, living in the big city, playing on a first-place team as he blasts another one?
I think either you have that personality or you do not. I don't think it's something that you really can, you don't change yourself. Some guys just can fit in New York, others don't. And I think he's a guy that will always be grounded.
Oh, he's loving it. David Wright's got 8 home runs, 1 behind Cabrera here in round 1. See, now Joe Mauer's hitting 390. He's got his camera going. He went for the downs on that one. So 8 home runs, and he's only got half of his outs recorded. 5 outs. So we'll send it from straightaway right center down to the luxury seats. Boomer and Harold. Good start.
Tell you what, guys, David Wright, you say 5 outs. He's wearing number 5. He's hit 5 in a row at one point. And there have been a couple of third basemen named Brooks Robinson and George Brett that wore the number 5 pretty proudly in that spot. David is putting on a show. This one is way back there. Back, gone. His last swing on Sunday was a game-winning home run against the Marlins. He's continuing.
Absolutely.
Jermaine Dye better get ready. He's coming up next. David Wright gets under that one. How about the job LaDuca's doing pitching to him?
He's got that nice little loop, and he's getting underneath it. He's hanging it right there where he wants it. You know, the interesting thing from down here in the luxury seats where we're at on the field,
man,
like that ball right there, he missed it. Now watch how far this ball goes.
Gone.
Man. I mean, when I'm saying they're missing it, he's not really fully squaring it. The ball is jumping tonight out of here.
You know, we want to remind you that went 476, Harold, and this one is way back. Gone again.
You know, he's hitting everything. Joe talked about when they get in a groove, they can hit a high pitch, a low pitch, a ball in, a ball out. And you see that's what David Wright is doing.
I think we get the picture. Gone again.
Now with the new rule, home runs carry over. Remember in years past, you'd have a big total. You have to start all over with the 2nd round, but he can carry that number 13 into the 2nd round.
Yeah, and he may have enough. You know, now he's going to get up first, though. It's going to be different, but he may be able to put this way so far ahead that he can not hit too many in the next round and still advance to the finals. The first 2 rounds, cumulative total, advance you to the finals. And here's another one. Back, and gone. He's hitting them out like a New York minute.
Yes, he is. The ball is flying. But I think that's fair with the new ruling.
Yes.
You know, you want that. You want to be able to put on a show and make it worth something.
Here's another show way back. This one is all the way to Sewickley.
Wherever Sewickley is.
It's not right down the street here. It's a suburb of Pittsburgh. Gets under this.
And this is the telltale right here. Okay. Get that ball carrying.
What's the matter with him? He didn't a homer. He's up to 7 outs. 15 homers for David Wright. 2.5 years in the bigs.
Damn it.
Well, you heard the guys talking about how much this guy probably grew up loving baseball. His high school baseball team, listen to this. Ryan Zimmerman, third baseman for the Washington Nationals. B.J. Upton, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and David Wright. How would you like to be a high school pitcher pitching against those three kids?
Did they lose?
They better want a state championship down there.
Well, in Norfolk, Virginia, Jermaine Dye coming in, has his warm-ups. He'll find out what David Wright is doing. I'm sure his dad, police captain in the Norfolk, Virginia police force. Obviously very proud of their son. Will this one have enough? To left center field, back it goes.
Dude, you only got 8?
Miguel Tejada, Bobby Abreu hit 24 in the first round last year. David Ortiz, oh, by the way, nobody remembered, hit 17.
Yeah, and that 17 didn't carry over, so
Right.
that he basically had no chance. You
Right.
wear yourself out. This takes a lot out of you to swing this many times with this type of an effort.
Oh, this ball is just pounded to McKeesport.
And that's another $21,000.
Gold ball out. Can he hit some more?
Damn it.
Oh, man. What a performance by David Wright with everybody on their feet.
I'm good, thank you.
What a performance we just saw from David Wright, who's now on top, 16 home runs, and we're joined by the teammate of the next guy. The good thing is Jermaine can't hear us, and daughter Ava, who's only 10 months old, and we now know where she gets the looks from. But beyond that,
Not for me, I know that for sure.
beyond that, you say Dye's got no chance.
He's got no chance.
Why you say that?
Because I hit with him every day, and I've seen him, and he doesn't have the home run swing in BP.
You would have thought the same thing about David Wright as you see Jermaine step in with his 25 home runs. He's a line drive hitter. Glavin said Wright had no chance.
Yeah, but Jermaine doesn't have me throwing to him like David Wright had LaDuca throwing, so.
Was that a consideration? Why didn't he ask?
I asked him, and he said no.
He said no.
He said he likes the guy throwing to him better. I told him just to swing 10 times to go home.
So what is Jermaine like? You hit with him. There's his first swing and his first out. He's certainly capable of getting on a roll here.
Oh, he definitely is capable, but we did play 19 innings yesterday, so he might be a little tired.
And you caught for all 19, and now you're carrying your 10-month-old around. Are you exhausted?
I'm getting there. I'm working on it, but I'm still going off adrenaline right now, and Jermaine's got a chance right here. Gone. He got one.
First home
I
run
told him
for
if
Dye.
he gets shut out, though, that would have been the worst thing, so at least he's got one.
He's passed it. Tomei would be another great guy to have in this derby.
How did Toby not get in?
No, Allegheny River would be calling him.
Yeah, I'd be stuck if I was sitting up here right
we
center
would
with
be in
him.
serious trouble right now.
Jermaine Dye, who's had great success in this, his second one that would find right field, and that's 2 outs for Dye.
Yeah.
Talk about the White Sox. You're in that great division. The Tigers just seemingly can't lose, and you know the Twins are in the rearview mirror.
Our division's unbelievable. The thing that people don't get about our division is the pitching. The pitching in our division's unbelievable. The pitchers that are here, Kenny Rogers, Contreras, Santana. Now you throw Liriano in there. Verlander could have been here. You don't even mention CC or Cliff Lee or Jake Westbrook or the other guys. So it's an incredible division. Anytime you put up numbers like Canerco, Tomei, Mauer, it's incredible.
First row would count, and it is his second home run to go with the 3 out. Doesn't matter how far he hits.
Hey, as long as if he loses in the first round, he's going to hear it the next day. I know that.
What's the clubhouse like in Chicago? We know all about the leader, Ozzie Guillen. As Dye takes another cut and
he's
yanks
getting
that one foul.
Oh,
Ava's making the call. She said foul.
No, she saw it and she knew it was foul. She's seen me hit too many foul. That's my problem.
What's the clubhouse like in Chicago with Ozzie there?
Well, you guys know Crucky played with Ozzie. He knows how it is. It's the loosest clubhouse I've ever been in. He's obviously the best manager I've ever played for. We won a World Series, but he's great. He's nothing like you see in the media. He's totally different. He's fun. He enjoys his game. He wants us to play hard. And as long as you do that, you're fine. As soon as you don't play hard, he'll tell you, and he won't hold a grudge. And if you do it again, you're gone.
6 outs for Jermaine Dye.
He's got 2. Is he in last place right now? No.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
Troy's got 1, so we're all right now.
Yeah, my pick, Troy.
Crucky went out on a limb and picked Troy
You know what?
Glaus.
Chris Rose also picked Troy Glaus, and
that ain't
he's
good.
already heard it from me.
That ain't good.
So Jermaine Dye with 2 home runs and 6 outs. There's another one.
Uh-oh.
That's a home run.
That doesn't even count?
It counted when the Yankees did it to Mayer. It'll count here.
You talked about the pitching in the American League Central, and a lot of those guys you mentioned, Liriano, Santana, Cliff Lee, C.C. Sabathia, Robertson, I mean, they're all left-handed.
Big shot there.
They're all left-handed pitchers.
I know. Tell me about it.
I mean, that's got to be tough on you. You're still hitting well over 300.
I tell you what, David Ortiz, we flew here with him from Chicago. He looked at me on the plane and was like, I tell you what, if you can hit 330 in your division, you're doing something, because you get Liriano, Santana, Kenny Rogers. You go to Maroth, Bonderman, or Robertson, Mark Redmond, Affeld, Burley. It's lefty, lefty, lefty every night. And I mean, as a left-handed hitter, you're just trying to get one hit and make contact half the time.
I will continue. 4 homers, 7 outs, Boomer.
Well, fun with AJ up there. He's always in the middle of things, isn't he? Even the home run derby.
Absolutely. AJ, you're not too talkative, are you?
No, Harold, only when you're around.
AJ, you're always in the middle. What did we talk about before? You're like Pigpen and the Charlie Brown. They're always getting the dirt, right?
Hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. How you going to be known if you don't get in the middle of everything?
No, AJ,
in the middle.
Look at this one, Jermaine Dye.
I think his bat's cork.
Now I want to.
Oh man, controversy. AJ, whoa, brother.
Hey, I'm putting it on somebody else for once.
Hey,
Looks
listen.
like Harold Baines heard what you said. You see that look?
I want to remind John Kruk that I have not changed my pick. My pick was Jermaine Dye at the start. I've not pulled a,
That's
and
true.
I won't
Really?
say it.
He picked Jermaine Dye?
Yeah, he did.
I
He
did. I don't know.
That's going out on a limb.
Early this morning, he picked Jermaine Dye.
Yeah, early
there's
this
another
morning.
one.
Sends it deep to center field. Back. Gone! And he's hitting him out to dead center.
Tell you what, AJ, you better give him some love, because he's showing you up.
I know. He's making me feel bad for telling him he's got no chance now.
Yeah, but those are line drives he's hitting.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but it's not exactly regulation balls we're using right about now.
So you got cork bats and balls that are juiced.
What are you
Just when
saying
Jermaine's
now?
hitting, I made sure. I went through all the balls.
Oh, this one
That's
is
got a chance.
way back to left field. Back.
Hit the hitter here.
It's gone to Upper St. Clair.
That one almost went to Erie.
Almost.
I tell you what, Jermaine can hit him when he hits them now. He hit one in our place up almost in the fundamentals deck, which I've never seen anyone reach, even Frank.
Speaking of your place, the ball is jumping in that ball yard. It didn't used to travel like that. What'd
Hey,
they
then why
do?
do I only have 6 home runs?
Well, you're facing all those lefties.
Exactly, that's why. Yeah, but it's not stopping Tommy. He's got 30.
That's true.
I figured
AJ.
last year was my career year. I'd let Tommy have some fun this year.
AJ, how come your daughter's so well behaved? Again,
Because she got her looks and her behavior from her mom.
there you go. Good, you take my cue nicely. We can work together. There's an out. So Jermaine Dye, though, has put himself into good position. 7 home runs.
You know, the swings of these guys are amazing. And watch Jermaine Dye driving the ball dead center field. Watch where this ball's going to hit. Dead center. That's about as perfect a swing as you're going to take. And here's the one that's just a blast to left field. But again, you know, we talk so much about these guys stand behind the baseball. That was 476 feet right there. I'd be smiling too if I hit a ball that far.
David Ortiz, Boomer, is certainly one of those guys who understands the science of hitting as well as anyone. And if the river were threatened, you'd think this would be the guy to threaten it.
Big Pappy. Now, by the way, if you tell him that this is the last at bat and the team is tied or down by a run, every one of these balls is going out. How does he do it?
He's
How
amazing.
does he do it in the clutch so much?
He's got such great concentration. And, you know, one thing, he'll be the first one to tell you, having Manny Ramirez hitting behind him, he knows he's going to get something to hit, too. And he locks in and delivers better than anybody.
Jonathan Papelbon saying, hey, Big Pappy gets a hit. Big hit, and I get a save in the ninth inning. And this one is headed deep and gone for Big Pappy. It bounces into the river, and out of the kayak we go. Look out, those oars are dangerous there. Oh, they're fighting with the net and in the water.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it
'cause he's going to put on a show. You can see the discipline and understanding of having been in a home run hitting contest before. He is zeroing in on the exact pitch that he wants.
This one is down the line, back, gone! And that's, did that get in over the fence too? Yes, sir. Here they go.
That might have bounced off. I don't know. That was such a line drive when it left the stadium. But you can see what he's doing. Boomer. He's taking his time, get the numbers up, and then after that, it's go for let the dog out, put on a show.
That was Mark Loretta, the starting second baseman of the American League, who's really made a mark with the Red Sox in his first 3 months. He knows what he's about. He had the camera ready for every swing for Big Pappy. He does it with such a smile, too. I mean,
Well, he has become the personality that you want to be around in baseball. He's electric everywhere he goes. He's like a rock star, but he's got that persona about him, that personality that makes you want to be around him. He's got that it thing they always talk about, that star quality.
31 homers leads the majors. 87 RBIs leads the majors. He, along with several others in this home run derby, we're seeing a new rank here, past the 200 career mark for home runs during this season, as did Jermaine Dye, as did Lance Berkman this year.
Come on, Poppy! It's my pick. It's my pick. I got to cheer him on. I got to cheer him on.
Longest home runs thus far, Jermaine Dye and David Wright, 476. Some serious trombones.
Well, from where we sit, it is absolutely an awesome seat.
Look at this rainbow to right center, and it's gone! And the crowd gathering outside the park, not only in the kayaks in the Allegheny River, but just outside. This is shades of, you know, the Giants ballpark, McCovey Cove, and how you could stand on a walkway and maybe get something.
Yeah, they've got everything in this park for a fan. It is tremendous. Walking around here earlier, they got a little area for youngsters to play at. They can hit baseballs in, but as a spectator, every seat in the house is tremendous.
This ball, that ball is hit hard. Of course, the wall in right field is 21 feet. So Harold and Joe, you got Big Pappy here. What do you think?
I want to see him go up there and hit that setup there, maybe pick off Crucky. You know, he's got his back turned to the thing.
I think most of the attention from every person in this crowd is on Ortiz, like it hasn't been on other players before, right?
Well, he gets your attention. There are certain hitters, when they walk to the plate, they get your attention quicker than anyone else.
Ooh. How fast is that ball getting out there towards you guys?
We're keeping an eye on him, Harold. We're keeping an eye on it. This mesh screen in front of us probably won't hold it.
6 outs, 3 home runs, and Wright and Cabrera, by virtue of being in first and second place, have already qualified for round 2. They're moving on. And the chance of Poppy start. Look out, Highmark building. One hop. In. Wow.
Oh. There they are, swimming. Oh, the crawl stroke beats the breaststroke.
That would beat my paddle stroke, because I'd be out there trying to survive.
Well, with that homer, Miguel Tejada and Lance Berkman now know that they will not reach the second round. Is ball going to reach you fellas? Not quite, huh?
Tell you what is amazing about the Red Sox, since they won that World Series in 2004, anytime they go on the road, they've become a huge favorite. And here in Pittsburgh, where they booed Derek Jeter before the game, they're cheering his name.
Well, it's funny. I was standing out there next to Poppy. He said, man, he turned to Cano as you watch this ball fly over your heads out there.
One hop, 2 water.
He turned to Cano and said, you guys get booed everywhere, don't you?
Which is the ultimate sign of respect, right?
Yeah, well, the Yankees, you know, they won so many championships. They had 26 championships. I mean, everybody, you know, you always hate the Yankees. I mean, everybody did growing up.
Yeah, but Joe, you played on one of those teams, like the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, but they didn't have 26.
No, you didn't have 26.
No, I agree with you.
But did you guys get booed when you went on the road?
No, you know, it's funny. Well, it's kind of hard to boo Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Tony Perez, those kind of guys. They're all nice guys, but we did not get booed on the road. It is amazing, because I've seen and heard the booing for the Yankees on the road, but it wasn't like that.
Look out!
The only guy that got booed on the road for us was Pete Rose.
It's not like Jeter's not a nice guy. By the way, Ortiz with 6 home runs needs 1 more to move into a tie for 3rd with Jermaine Dye. And we still, of course, haven't seen Ryan Howard get a chance. I don't think you want to be sitting in 3rd with a chance to be knocked out with Ryan Howard. waiting on deck. Saw Jermaine Dye looking on there. 6 homers, 8 outs.
Well, he's on the bubble, Jermaine is.
Uh-oh,
that bubble's burst. Look out, boys! Look out, boys!
Over us. Over the fence. You saw the jets during baseball tonight. That sounded like the F-16s that buzzed us earlier. That's a huge shot.
The kids have got to get excited about that. He's just electric. You know, everything he does, he brings a flair about it. It's just fun to be around David Ortiz.
Well, this will get him past Jermaine Dye and into square third and get him into the post for round 2. Welcome to round 2.
Yep.
Oh, in the air.
That's going to puncture one of those rafts, isn't it?
That was an in the air Allegheny River shot. There's Robinson Cano. How often do you see a Yankee cheering for a Red Sox, or at least smiling as a result of a Red Sox player does? Boomer?
Well, maybe he ought to go down there in a canoe out there and get some of the balls. So now the gold ball. Ortiz is moving on. Cabrera moving on. David Wright moving on. Ryan Howard will be the one up against Dye, but let's see now with Ortiz.
And the crowd is starting to really get into it. They saw that gold ball step up when you were talking. They started getting excited.
Well, this is the 9th inning for him, but he's already in the next round, so this isn't a walk-off gold ball in the next round home run. So maybe he won't hit it. I don't know.
The prelim.
Yeah, he will. Mercy! Back! He almost got the hit it here sign, huh? The MasterCard sign?
Oh, mercy. That'd be awesome if he hit that.
Wow. Once again, Big Pappy is indeed Big Pappy. This one is going to, yes, it'll get in there.
Like the economy's changed a little bit because MasterCard, it used to be, what, $1 million, now it's 500 flights.
If he doesn't at 16, though.
Tell you what, a lot of charity balls being hit fittingly in his last at bat, if you will, by David Ortiz.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the most charitable guys in baseball.
Goodbye. There it is. 10 home runs for Big Pappy.
Very first home run I can remember hitting, wow, I was probably like 7 or 8. It was the first one over the fence. That was a big thing. My idols were Griffey and Bonds coming up. You know, I like their swagger. I like how they played, you know, just how they went about their business. The most clutch home run I've ever hit, it's probably a couple. Last year in Atlanta was a grand slam, and there was a walk-off home run in Philly against the Dodgers. There's always 2 with me. There's always 2. It can't just be one. My trot, it's just the basic 1-2 step. Nothing too special. No spinning, no break dancing or anything like that. You gotta go out there and you have fun with it.
He's on pace to break Mike Schmidt's single-season mark. If you talk about most home runs in Phillies history before the All-Star break, Ryan Howard's 28, tied with Jim Thome, who did it in 04. And Mike Schmidt in 79, he hit 31. Crucky, you've known Ryan since he came into the organization in Philadelphia. Is he made for this type of event, or because it's his first, is it going to be tough? What do you think?
I think it's going to be tough for him, Carl. You know, you talk to people around Philadelphia, and he's one of these guys that, you know, he doesn't try to hit home runs in batting practice. He wants to work on his stroke more, and he thinks that trying to hit home runs in BP is going to mess up his swing. So this could be interesting to see how many times he actually tries to pull the ball.
Pitching again. That clearly was a smooth swing for Ryan Howard. 1 out. And again, folks, the new rule here is home runs will carry over to the second round. 2 swings and 2 outs. What do you think? What do you make of this swing so far?
Well, I think he's got to be a little more aggressive than what we've seen on those first 2 swings. He's taking, those are more batting practice swings. That was a little more aggressive, but it still looks like a batting practice swing.
You ever think a guy gets to the point, Joe, where he's a young kid and he's playing in front of this packed house and the nerves, and he's thinking to himself, you know, I got to just make contact?
Right. Maybe that way. Let's go down to Boomer with a guy who shows no nerves.
Well, that's for sure. And we're with David Ortiz, who's joined Harold and I down here. And aren't you tired, big man?
Not yet.
You got some work to do still.
Oh, yeah. We're coming in. We're kicking in. You know, I just need to try to stay right on and not get tired.
You hit a couple in the water on the fly, you know. That's, you almost got a guy in a kayak out there. I know you can't see him from the plate, but do you have a feeling that these balls were really flying out over there for you?
They were going pretty good. They were going pretty good. You know, I was just like getting into the momentum at the time, and it take me a minute sometimes. It happened to me in batting practice normally, on the daily basis. It take me a minute to get into the group, but when I get into the group, they put some ball in the other side.
Well, I know you love to study left-handed hitters, and you know Ryan Howard is a guy you watch. What do you like about Ryan Howard?
You know what? This young man right here, he is one of the most impressive young left-hander hitter in the big league. He's so quiet.
He tried to get Kruk, that's why.
Yeah.
Keep popping off, Kruk. Keep popping off.
I know.
That was the shoulder shot, Joe.
It's a quiet hitter, man, and he had the ability to go opposite field like a right-handed hitter. So it's just amazing how good you can be at that age and early in the big league.
You know, I was talking about when you were hitting, how much Fenway Park has helped you with that monster shooting balls that way. And
Definitely.
really staying inside.
Definitely, you know, the Green Monster actually make you a better hitter, and he just, as a left-hander, and it's just because not quite tell you to stay inside the ball. So that's pretty much what I like to do since I came to Boston, stay inside the ball, hit it hard anywhere.
The game's on the line. You're even a more dangerous hitter than in the first or third inning. Why?
I guess adrenaline going on and everything at the time, and you more into the game there at the beginning. Yeah, I guess it's pretty much happened to everybody.
Ryan Howard with 3 homers. He's going to need 7 to at least force a bat off, if you will, with Jermaine Dye, who's the man on the bubble. So you're missing Manny here. He selected Manny Ramirez, but took some time off. Feels strange not to be here with him?
I know. It's a little of the hand, but Manny been having pain in his right knee, and actually myself personally, I have been giving Manny a massage with some stuff that I have from back home, because I want my man to be healthy, you know what I mean? So
did you feel like, though, with him being a top vote getter, he's kind of obligated to come here for the fans?
You know, when you lead this thing in Boston, it'd be good, it'd be nice to, you know, show some love to the fans, come in, receive your award. But like I say, you know, he's been struggling with his knee. Manny's just a big-time horse that he like to help his team and be out there every day for our ball club.
I know you didn't want to see him go when they were talking about trading him.
I know.
Hey, Ryan Howard staying alive here, guys, meanwhile.
There you go. There you go. I wanna say what's up to my man Willie Harris. He was gonna come over to pitch me. He's up in Cairo with my boys.
Oh, he was gonna come pitch to you, huh?
He wanna come over and everything, but he gotta go home.
How about this? Ryan Howard doing a big pappy, hitting him in the clutch. I mean, if he made any of these outs now, one more to tie Dye and stay alive for the second round. Jermaine knows it. Took him a while to get his sea legs here.
I know. Come on, big dog.
Who's with you here?
This is my little boy, D'Angelo, right here. It's his birthday today.
Oh, yeah?
Happy birthday, D'Angelo.
Happy birthday. Cake later?
Feliz Navidad.
Hey, happy birthday for Ryan Howard. He hit number 7.
He's back in. He's back in.
And Ramon Henderson, the magic pitcher.
He's pumped up.
All right?
So now, you guys are stealing Ramon, man. What's going on with that? That's what Ryan said.
He's one of the best in the business.
Now, when you get to that last one, the gold ball, you're aware of the $21,000 on the line when you hit that?
Oh yeah. You very aware, and you wanna get these people going.
What's he doing? Ryan Howard.
Oh yeah, that's going. That is going. Oh yeah.
What a clutch performance. 4 homers on the gold ball, and he's moving on to the second round. There's this young man.
He's donated.
Now, what do you do in between to stay loose and get ready for the next round?
You want to go to the cage and take some swing, especially when you're about to kick in, and keep on moving. You don't want just shut everything down to take off once again.
Are you trying to get out of here? You trying to get out of here?
Not yet, but I will.
Big Pappy, thanks for being with us. Happy birthday, little man. Good luck in the next round. Bye. Ryan Howard, meanwhile, dug deep. See, you're happy. Ryan Howard, 4 homers on the gold ball, moves him past Jermaine Dye, and he will join Big Pappy, Miguel Cabrera, and David Wright in round number 2.
Well, he does such a great job once again. He has the ability to hit the ball to dead center. That is the bullet that he tried to hit him off the head. Here's the one that got him into the next round right here. Driving that ball a long ways. Mr. Ryan Howard, the young man, making his debut, Boomer.
To the second round now.
Yeah, right now, you're looking pretty good if you're thinking David. You know, David Wright, David Ortiz. You can't go wrong with David right now.
The House of David. This could be the House of David here in Pittsburgh. Paul LaDuca. Hey, maybe when his catching days are over, he could be a jump baller in his 40s.
There you go. Break out the knuckleball and get somebody out. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they're both able to come back with the consistency they showed the first round. I don't think Wright hits 16 this round, Boomer.
Well, that's really going out on a limb.
You like that?
But he may only have to hit, you know what, it's possible he may have to hit 3, 4, 5, and that'd give him 21 and maybe in good shape. We'll see.
So you're saying I'm Captain Obvious? Is that what?
No, I'm saying that maybe here's one of them. Gone, David Wright. So much for this line drive hitter that we're supposed to be seeing.
David hit one 476 feet in the first round.
How about he and Reyes on the left side of the infield? Could be for a long time. And this one, the left center field is back. And this too, gone.
Well, they complement each other, you know, with their different styles. That, you know, with Reyes, the speed guy, and Wright, you know, Wright can run too, but he drives the ball in the gaps. And I think Reyes, before it's all said and done, is going to be possibly a 20-homer type of guy himself.
Here's Jose Reyes enjoying his teammates with LaDuca pitching to David Wright. A lot of Mets here, the best record by far in the National League. Down the line, does it have enough oomph?
Oh!
Caught in the corner.
It wasn't robbed, though. I thought for a second he took one from him.
This one won't be robbed. It is. Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
This was robbed. 6-foot wall. They say let it hit.
Well, A.J. Przinsky, where are you? They changed the balls.
Now they're booing the fielders. How dare you make a catch at the wall? Let it hit, right?
Yeah, somebody...
Which they should, actually. They should let it hit.
Got a hit. All right, so he's showing few signs of fatigue, but he got out front with that 16 the first round. Damn it!
This one.
Well, and this is the advantage of the carryover. If he's playing on the old rules, he is crushed right now in the second round.
Right.
You know, because it carries over, he's able to carry that total over.
Now this ball carry over the fence, he's getting a little tired. But that's all right.
Gotta get some spinach.
6 outs in a row for David Wright. But again, the cumulative total of 18. And this one will be foul. You know, else, you know, third base has always been a mystery spot for the Mets throughout their history since they came in '62. When they won the World Series in '69, the veteran came over from Kansas City. The glider, Ed Charles, wore number 5, was the third baseman for the Mets.
The glider.
So Met fans will look at number 5 on David Wright for a long time, they hope. And they won't have a question in that position for a while.
Well, I think it can overemphasize the point that the combined combination of the first 2 rounds is what the number stands out. Because if you're looking at the old format, he's got 2 this round. And so after that beautiful first round, he would have been possibly eliminated from the contest after this particular round.
Yeah, at this point, he just wants to maybe hit 1 or 2 if he can, get to 20 and be the leader in the clubhouse with 20.
Absolutely.
With other golfers still on the course.
There you go. We have our golfers holding by out there.
Well, not quite. So David Wright with 2 this round. A couple and then a bunch outs in a row, 10 of them. But he'll have 18 and still is in pretty good position, I would think. Could be.
Could be. We'll see. A lot of guys are going to put some pressure on him. But you see, that's that first round, 16, is a big point. And they see a little tired this time. He was jumping on everything, driving the ball 476 feet, so 471. This time, barely getting them over the wall.
A little tired.
David Ortiz, the next to hit. We're joined by Jonathan Papelbon, the closer of the Boston Red Sox. Is this guy going to win it?
No doubt about it. I told him, I said, I got 100 grand on you. If you win it, I'll give you 50.
And he's motivated by that?
He better be.
Well, this has been a special season for Ortiz, for Loretta, who we just saw, and certainly for you. You come in here as a starter and end up being the best closer in the first half, despite what happened yesterday. I mean, that transition, why has it been so, I'm not going to say easy, but why has there been such success?
Well, you know, I think for me, it all boils down to, you know, having that short-term memory. You know, when you go in there and you don't have nearly as much success on the day that you want, you've got to forget about it and make your adjustments and move on.
Would you ever want to be a starter?
Again.
Yeah, well, you know, right now I'm happy where I'm at, and, you know, I think that's going to be a situation that's going to come up next spring training, whether we see what they want to do with me, whether they want to move me into rotation or not.
Maybe that short-term memory thing will kick in after Ortiz wins this, and he'll forget that you said 50, and you'll just give him the whole 100.
Yeah.
You look at David Ortiz, you see him every single day. We've talked about his whole personality. He was up there with a hat on backwards as he takes his first cut and gets his first out. We don't go in that clubhouse every single day. What's he like in there?
He's awesome. You know what? I tell you what, he brings something to the ballpark day in and day out that a lot of guys, you know, cannot do. Whereas, you know, he gets us loose, he gets us relaxed, and he gets us ready to play. And, you know, when you have guys on that, like that on your ball club to help everybody else out, it's amazing. 2
swings, 2 outs for Ortiz. When you're tied and he comes up, what are you thinking?
Well, you know, right now we're thinking he's going to win the ball game for us, which is a tough situation to put him in because he's almost expected to do that now. But, you know, he's been that clutch hitter for us, and, you know, he's going to have to carry us through the second half of the season as well as a lot of other guys on our ball club. So, you know, we're expecting a lot from him.
Jonathan, historically, the Red Sox have always been a team that they're just going to pound the ball and they'll catch it later. This year, a little different. They still pound the ball, but you guys catch the ball better than anyone in baseball. How's that for a pitcher to pitch behind that?
I mean, there's no doubt about it. For me, it's a lot of reason for my success this year. I can go out there and be able to go out there and do what I can and pitch to guys and challenge hitters and know that I've got that defense behind me to help me out.
Well, it's been great. 26 saves in the first half of the season for Jonathan Papelbon, and our good friend Peter Gammons, who we miss so much here at an All-Star game, said about you, you could be playing wiffle ball or in Game 7, and you'd still be the same way as we see Ortiz make his 5th out. Jonathan, thanks very much for being with us. Let's go down to Harold and Boomer. I think Harold and Boomer, he's got to spit in his hands like he usually does before his at-bat, get that thing going again.
Well, maybe he needs Ravi to, you know, get late in his at-bats here with 7, 8, 9 outs and get going. And you mentioned Peter. I haven't had a chance to be on. We speak for, well, thousands, tens of thousands of viewers out there who have grown to love Peter and see him as David Ortiz sends this one. Heads up, guys. And we all wish Peter a good recovery. We understand it's moving along well, and we love you. We miss you. And if you're watching it all, Peter, you're duly missed here at the All-Star game.
Well, Peter, I've had every player call in here wondering how you're doing. This ball's coming right down at us. But, Peter, I've had every player stop by here asking how you're doing, wanting your address, wanting to call you, wanting to get a hold of you. So we wish you well, my friend. Get healthy. We miss you.
David Ortiz, now that one is a long way. Does this have a shot at water? On a bounce. And kayaking. There they go. Paddle, 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 paddle. Oh, the swimmers get it.
Well, yeah. Again, you know, you look at the experience of a guy having been in a home run contest before.
Bang!
That ball just missed, but you know what? David Ortiz didn't panic on the first 5 outs. Had nothing and just stayed with it. I think David Wright kind of, he knew the fatigue was there and he kind of tried to force a swing. That's from first time being in this contest, but I think David Ortiz understands where he's at.
Well, that one is, he's got to dig in. David still may be okay with 18.
Oh,
they're all tired.
He's in good shape. Yeah, they're all equally tired.
Uh-oh, new hat.
Okay.
Turn in a different direction. There he is, little wardrobe malfunction apparently.
That's what it was. Absolutely.
All right, now the crowd trying to egg Big Papi on for some late home runs here in the second round for Big Papi.
Nope.
I got a message today from Sam Little Bighorn. You remember Sam, a hitter, but does some TV work in Boston. Yes. He's got a song now, Come to Papi. Wants to get that out there. I'm going to call him. All right, gold ball time for David Ortiz.
You heard him talk about it himself. He's very aware of the gold ball.
This ball is going way back to right field and over everything. It's Altoona. There you go. All he needs the gold ball. Wow, that one doesn't go. So David Ortiz, 3 homers, adding to the 10 that he had in the first round, gives him 13.
David Ortiz will be the first car to be passed here in the highway to the final round of the Century 21 Home Run Derby. Is David Wright very comfortable with the 16 he hit in round 1. And now comes Cabrera, who put on a clutch show late to get to 9 home runs. Is there anything to be gleaned from the 2 and 3 that Wright and Ortiz hit in round 2?
Yeah, you stated it correctly. They're a little tired. I mean, you run out of gas. You got to remember one thing. They all came out and took batting practice as well, which I was surprised. I thought maybe some of those guys wouldn't take batting practice.
Ortiz played in a 19-inning game on Sunday and played all of them and admitted he was tired. Wright, of course, played Sunday. Cabrera was there as well. Cabrera got into it with his pitching teammate. This is going to be the highlight, you believe, of Miguel Cabrera's season. Even though the Marlins have had a very good season by their standards with the youth, this might be the highlight of his season.
Yeah, and that's why I picked him, Carl, because, you know, when you look at the team that he had, you got to remember, his first year in the big leagues, they won a world championship, and everything else after that, unless you're repeating, is a downer. And then when they traded all the veteran players away from him, he probably had to feel like the Lone Ranger.
I thought you picked Troy Glaus.
No, I took Ortiz.
Oh, no,
it was Brock who...
Oh, you picked Cabrera.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Check him out there.
Hey, Joe.
Ravi, keep him in check.
Hey, Ravi, you sitting with Benedict Arnold up there?
As he said, he pulled a Harold, and Cabrera's pulling a rabbit out of his hat with a couple now to move within 2 of David Ortiz.
Look at this. This is like a...
Stuck.
Yeah.
The knothole gang.
What cracked me up, Ravi, is he just kept doing his analysis like we didn't notice it. This is the reason I picked him. Now, you see how fluid his swing is, how he stayed. He didn't even miss a beat. Come on, Crucky.
You gotta sell it, you gotta sell it. Miguel Cabrera, a little concern from Jeffrey Loria, the owner of the Marlins. We saw Bobby Abreu last year as Cabrera makes his 4th out. Do really well in the home run derby, and since then, it's almost like he hasn't found his stroke, and the owner of the Marlins said the same thing about Miguel Cabrera and his participation, which was remember the past, remember Bobby Abreu.
Well, I disagree with all that. It's a home run hitting contest. It's an all-star game. You come here, it's a one-time affair. You go back, you make the adjustments, you watch, film if you have to, but I just don't think it's that difficult.
Big fly there from Cabrera to left field as the fielders go down, and they will not catch it, but it won't be a home run.
Well, Joe, well, you were a big-time home run hitter at times. Did you guys ever, in regular batting practice in the regular season, take a round and say, hey, I'm going to hit some balls out of here?
Well, we always played home runs the last round kind of thing, you know, but before that you got yourself ready to play. But we would play home runs every once in a while.
Yeah, and you were able to
the
get
little
that
guy would
swing back
challenge the
together.
big guys. I'd challenge Benson Perez.
That's, by the way, his 12th home run, Joe. That should have been a home run because it was caught by someone in the stands.
And he's arguing
they called
right
that
now.
out. That was caught by the guy in the first row of the stands.
Well, we'll have to play that back and see, Carl.
Take a look.
And I want to see a replay on that one, Boomer. I think the guy in the first row caught that ball.
We'll take a look here in a minute. After he's done, we'll come back and look. We may have...
Oh, see, they just put the 12 home run up. They gave him the home run.
Some good eyes, Carl. You got that eagle eye working out there.
You scared him.
You're not missing much.
Gone.
So that breaks the tie with Ortiz, right?
Puts him into a tie with Ortiz.
You just tell, though, watching the first three guys in the second round, the bat slowed up a little bit. They're laboring to get it through the zone, and I mean, that's like an August swing right there. When you played every day.
Well, you got to remember the young man. He's 23, and he's got a little bit of an advantage with the youth thing working here.
But truthfully, when you get tired and you're forcing the bat, as John is saying, that's when you get bad habits. When you're actually trying to force it through when you're tired.
Yeah, that's what I think what happened last year to Bobby Abreu, and he hit what 20-something home runs in the first round. I mean, you know, he was dead. I mean, it was hot too in Detroit last year.
Massive shot here.
Bye-bye to
Gone. Big Poppy's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, boy. Well, now could celebrate his son's birthday, right?
Absolutely.
All right, then.
That'll be on number 8. So Cabrera knows that he's past Big Poppy, but he also knows Ryan Howard can thunder from behind still.
That guy just jumped into the last round, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, my guy.
Well, my guy is gone. That just removed David Ortiz.
And my guy is gone, and Crucky's guy is gone.
My guy's gone.
Your guy's gone. Ravi, who did you have?
I had that guy. I also had 100 from Jonathan Papelbon. That went out the window, too.
So we have to reshuffle the deck for the
That's the
finals.
money these guys make. He's a rookie.
Rookie and dropped 100 grand out there like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you make 100 grand first year?
Did I ever? Hey, it took me 9 years, I think.
Become an announcer?
Boomer, he's climbing. He's got 15, and they're getting longer.
Yeah, they are. Warming up here with the gold ball.
Oh.
Yeah, but good job there by Miguel Cabrera, who adds his 6 home runs here in the second round to give him 15. He'll be watching Ryan Howard, but we know the night is ended for the People's Church. Big Pappy, David Ortiz.
As you see the swing here, he's walking right by us, and Crucky, here's what you can do. Miguel, nice job, baby. You know, how heavy the whole way. Now watch how he stays behind this. Just letting him know he was my guy from the beginning, fellas. Here's that pretty swing again. That picture says 1,000 words. That is just absolutely incredible.
It's going to be an all-National League final because if Howard doesn't pass Cabrera, it's going to be Cabrera and David Wright. He's a clutch guy. We saw it in round 1, and here he comes again on the biggest stage. Can he do it? He needs 8 to move into the final.
You know what I saw at the beginning? He started off, like I said, he was taking batting practice. All of a sudden, about after 4 or 5 outs, he started using his legs.
Yep.
He started generating more bat speed, and that's when he hit the ball out. So I expect him to hit some home runs this time because I think he'll start off using his legs, and when he does that, he can drive the ball. I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to say he's going to get 12. I don't think he'll get, that's 4. I don't think he'll get 15.
It'll be a tough cure. I mean, but you know what? He's like you said, 2 outs. He likes to hit with 2 outs. So he has 2 outs right now.
2 outs, right? Starting with 2 outs, right?
Howard said before this whole thing began, it's not the line drive derby. I looked at it as fun. Everybody there is looking at it as fun, so that's gone. So I'm not going to try to make anything out of it or put on extra pressure. 1 for 1 is Ryan Howard.
think I'm going to pull a Harold here. I think he'll get 15.
Yeah. Well, you picked him, Joe. Me and Joe might be in the finals.
You guys are something.
You're going to look up in a dictionary beginning next year what a Harold is.
What a Harold is.
An about face during a home run derby. You'll have Santana trying to figure out how we're going to pitch to
You guys are
Ryan
killing
Howard.
me. I only did that on NFL Sunday.
Man.
Big fly for Ryan Howard.
Boomer, that is a bomb.
That's gone.
Hey, that is his 10th home run. Let's quickly go down to Bonnie Bernstein.
Astros manager Phil Garner and I are just marveling over some of these shots. Phil, of course, the second baseman for the '79 Pirates team that went to the World Series. For some of the younger fans, tell us why they called you Scrap Iron.
Well, I like Milo Hamilton's version on that. He said I was tougher than an old piece of scrap metal. You could bend me and beat on me, but you couldn't break me. I was like scrap metal. Dave Parker, who's sitting over here, used to say they called me Scrap Iron because my glove acted like it was made out of metal.
Well, it sounds all good. It ties into the whole Steel Town thing. Let's talk, Phil, about some of these young guns we have here in the National League. Ryan Howard, David Wright. So much power for young guys.
Well, it is, and you know, for all the talk about what's going on these days, these are great young hitters. I mean, it's amazing what they can do. I'm surprised, number one, at how big they are, and you don't really realize that until you get up next to them. But they're also strong, and they have great swings. That's the one thing that I marvel at here. You know, sometimes a lot of guys with power, they just go and they have a kind of like a softball swing, but these guys have good fundamental swings.
Managing the NL team tomorrow in the All-Star game, what's your strategy? Do you have any of these guys?
I'm trying to put one together, yes. A lot will depend on what happens in the middle part of the game on. The first part of the game is not much strategy. We're just going to let the guys play. But how you insert your extra guys after that, there's going to be a little bit of strategy involved.
You want to make sure to get everybody in there.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to, but unfortunately, there's probably going to have to be a player or two or several pitchers that won't probably play.
Phil, thanks so much. Boom.
Thank you, Bonnie. And these guys are dodging balls again. See, Ryan Howard says, okay, Crucky's about facing. I'm going to send him a message.
Well, I'll tell you what, pretty impressive. You watch him hit that one to dead center, and then that one right at there in right center.
Right here.
You daring him, Ravi? Where's your towel? You got to start waving the towel.
That actually hit Kirkshin, and Kirkshin ran.
He's locked in right now.
Oh, this ball is way over everything. And a one-hopper into the river.
He just walked off on that one like it was no big deal. Joe, have you ever seen this kind of power? Who does he remind you of, Joe?
Well, we were talking about he kind of reminds me a little bit of Willie Stargell in that he hits the ball to all fields, you know, right now. But I think he's going to be more of a pull hitter the longer he's in the big
Look out, boys.
He's coming, Joe. Get your hand up. No, just shy.
Don't you guys bring your gloves to the game?
We would bring our gloves. We have this screen here, which is nice, but we got a gold glover here. We got two gold glovers here.
I lost mine.
What good would a glove could do? I never knew how to use it when I played.
Crucky is allergic to leather.
Scrap iron. I like the way he described the two stories. He pulled a Harold too. I'll go with the other version.
You guys are unmerciful.
You guys are killing me tonight. Hey, Joe, can you elaborate what you're talking about, though, becoming more of a pull hitter for young guys?
Guys are more, as you progress and you get more experience and you realize which balls you need to pull and which balls you can go the other way with, you start to pull the ball more. Willie Stargell, when he first came up, he had a lot of home runs to left field, left center field. And then he started to work more around toward right center. And I think that's what you'll see from Ryan Howard as he, progresses and gets more experience.
I think he's giving Ramon a little breather here as Ryan Howard's got 14. He needs 16 to get into the final round against David Wright. It would be an all NL East battle between Howard and Wright. Either way, with Cabrera and the Marlins, it's an all NL East final.
Well, Ryan Howard needs 2, and this won't be one of them. 1 to force a penalty kick situation. A swing off, if you will.
I tell you, are you surprised he came back and got this many home runs?
A little bit. But you know what, Harold? These home runs to dead center or to right center are very impressive. Up. And we're talking too soon. Now he's down to 8 outs. He needs at least 1 to keep him alive.
We talked about the Poppy factor, though. Put the pressure on him. And let's see if he's able to come up with it.
Remember, he hit 4 gold ball home runs to knock Jermaine Dye out in the first round. 2 outs left. Ryan Howard. Here it is. He's at least in a swing off, and this ball is kayaking.
I got it.
So Cabrera now knows that 1 more home run by Ryan Howard, and Cabrera will join Big Papi as able, but not quite able, participants in the final round.
Cabrera's kind of looking at him like, man, I'm tired. Maybe you will get one out of here.
To center field. Did he get under it too much? Does it have enough juice? Hey, gone! And into the finals. Should he stop?
Well, it doesn't carry over. He should just stop right now, save his energy.
Well, he's not thinking that, hey, I need, you know.
That's true. Go ahead and put a show on. Hit one out there. And you got enough.
He should probably stop. Well, that's one way to stop. Hit the wall, but almost. It's a charity ball.
This one's for you, Kenny. This one's for you.
The gold ball coming. So you don't want to stop here because charity gets...
Absolutely. What were we thinking?
We weren't thinking.
They've already raised over $250,000 tonight. That's pretty impressive.
Tell you what, Ramon Hernandez, bullpen coach Phillies, get a large tub of ice tonight.
3 hitters he's thrown to, and he's still throwing strikes.
Ryan Howard down the line, back, gone. We told you that the National League hitters, David Wright, 23, Cabrera, 23, Howard, 26, even Berkman, 29. The young guys in here, and the young guns are shooting tonight.
Yeah, they are. They are really putting on a show.
Look out, boys. Oh, man.
Eyesight to go up.
Hey, well, you got some great eyesight, Boomer, because that didn't look like it was going to go that far.
That almost was off Crux mosquito netting out there. Just for the record, 1 more would have him the top seed, I guess, going into the finals. Not that it makes a difference, but it'll be David Wright against Ryan Howard.
He hits this one out, he may as well say, let's start the championship right now. I'll just continue to go.
About 120 miles between what? 100, you know, between New York and Philly. We'll have an I-95 final. Ryan Howard steady wins the race. And he and David Wright will go to the finals. Cabrera and Ortiz knocked out.
Well, he was my original pick, but I changed it to Ortiz because I got caught up in the hype of Poppy. But there's a new Poppy in town right now. Ryan Howard is showing you how he swings it. Look at him stay behind his ball to finish. That's when you know you got one. You just kind of pose on him, Boomer.
And look at this, Harold. Better put your goggles on.
More than that, they'll start calling him Aquaman pretty soon.
Miguel Cabrera says, you know what? Impressive, Ryan. And here's the water ball.
That's some good stuff right there.
Wright and Howard for the championship as we continue the Century 21 Home Run Derby from PNC Park. Boys and Girls Clubs of America, the official charity of Major League Baseball, together creating a positive place for kids. All right, so we got the finals now set. It is Ryan Howard, who 2 years ago was in the Eastern League, had 37 home runs at the break, and in an Eastern League Home Run Derby, hit exactly no home runs. And then there's David Wright, who nobody predicted would be this far.
Yeah.
Who wins it, Harold? What do you think?
I'm going Ryan Howard. You know what I like is he's working with a coach that throws him every day in batting practice. You've seen him put together a couple good runs there. LaDuca and Wright, out the gate, it was a cool thing. Second round, it fizzled. I don't think that's going to hold up for them. I'm going with Ryan Howard and Henderson to win this thing.
No, I'm going with David Wright. Big Pappy, Elvis is leaving the building, huh? Pappy gave LaDuca a little instruction. Hey, Paul's got his game face on out there.
Paul was serious. You know, he was talking about it in between. Want to say hi to him. He's real serious about what he's trying to do here. Got to concentrate. Yelling at David, get focused.
You know what's nice? I mean, even though they wiped the scoreboard clean and it's a clean, you know, it's everything new in the finals, they were tied anyway. So it's
Absolutely.
perfect.
Worked out beautifully. And that's 1-0.
Right. See John Kruk and I all day long, David Wright.
There we go. That was nice. He got that little loop back in there.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
this one won't quite get there. Yeah, it is. What's the winning number going to be here? 6?
5. Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6.
David Wright from Norfolk, Virginia, which allowed him a chance to kind of watch the Tides, the Mets AAA team growing up. And so kind of fitting that he's with the New York Mets, the team with the best record in the NL. That one just shy. Bonnie Bernstein is with Ryan Howard. Bonnie.
Well, Boomer, it's worth noting with Ryan that he's not really a home run hitter in batting practice. So, Ryan, how challenging was it for you to get into that mindset of trying to jack it out every time?
I had to kick a shot out. I had to take it back all the way back to college when I went to Southwest Missouri State. And we used to hit home runs all the time in BP, so I had to kind of go my mindset back there.
You and David Wright kind of know each other coming up in the minors with the Mets and Phillies, so you know this is bragging rights in the NL.
You know what? Yeah, it is. But it's fun. It's fun because we've come up together in the minor leagues, and just being able to be here and have it be the two of us is great.
All right, Ryan, thanks, Boo.
All right, Bonnie, thank you, Ryan Howard. And to everybody else here at PNC Park watching, David Wright getting the loop back in with 3 home runs.
Well, he's got a nice little groove, and LeDuc is the key here. He's throwing that ball right into his little loop zone, and you can see from this angle, watch the arc. It's almost like softball. He's got that little soft toss there.
That ball was closer than we thought, huh?
Sure was.
Not quite, though. So 3 outs, 3 homers for David Wright. A good start for the Mets third baseman. This is just his second full season in the bigs. Came up 2 years ago in the middle. Ryan Howard has barely made it 12 months in the majors. I mean,
and he's become a star, and that's how quickly it happens these days, where all these teams are on TV every day, so you become a national player in a hurry instead of just regionally. You know, you get a lot of exposure, and Ryan Howard's on a very good Philadelphia team, and he's putting up big numbers.
And the Chicago White Sox are very happy that Ryan Howard got so good so quickly because they have Jim Thome thanks to that.
Yes, you're right. So it's worked out pretty good for both clubs.
Gracias, Ernesto, con nosotros.
Ryan Wright with an out. Now he's got 5 outs.
But what you have to do as a young player is you just go out and play. You force the organization to have to make a decision. That's what both David Wright and Ryan Howard both did.
Just have enough down the line. To left. Yeah, it's gone. So 4 homers for David Wright here in the finals, an all NL East final of the Home Run Derby.
So, fellas, what's it going to take to win this?
Well, you said 5. You're down there on the field.
From up here, Harold, we think it's closer to 10.
Well, you guys are closer to heaven, so I figure you know everything.
Are you up there with the full moon?
Tell you what, it's interesting watching the pitch come in. These are not batting practice 85, 65, 75 mile-an-hour fastballs.
Well, he's throwing like a rolling curveball, or just a little, loop to it.
I think if I was a National League East pitcher, I'd be looking at this and saying, all right, he can hit the slow hook.
Don't throw any hook. You know what? The other reason I picked Ryan Howard, I mean, David Wright can't have everything. They're in first place. He's in the running for the MVP, and to win the home run derby as well, it's all a little too perfect.
No, Joe, these young kids nowadays, they're greedy. They want it all quick.
That hit perhaps indicates that maybe the tank's running a little low.
Yeah.
I think he thought he might have got that one, and it didn't even get to the warning track. But I talked about the decision to move Thome to get Howard into that position as Wright fouls another one off, and he now has 8 outs and 4 home runs. Phillies made the right move to move Thome.
Oh, I don't think there was any doubt about it. It worked out best for everyone. You know, you couldn't keep Ryan Howard down the minor leagues hitting, you know, the gargantuan home runs and just putting up the numbers he was putting up. Obviously, he came up, he's Rookie of the Year, so that tells you that he deserved to be here. And Jim Thome was still Jim Thome, I mean, when he's healthy. And you see what he's done for the Sox. So it's been a perfect situation for everybody to trade him and to give Howard a chance.
Boomer Harrell talked about the exposure Howard gets. He's been exposed because the rest of those guys on the team haven't played well at all. He's really a shining star for them.
He has been. For a while, they looked like they were going to move on. Big Pappy out here. You know what? He hasn't left the building. I like that.
You good?
He's an ambassador for the game.
He is. He's great. Gold ball time. 16 homers in the first round for David Wright. Just 6 since.
What's up?
Well, the other number you're looking at, 294,000. It's going to shoot him over the $300,000 mark.
It's the number we had last year. So, the charity. David Wright waiting for the pitch.
So you can almost count on them passing that number.
You all right?
Well, LaDuca, I tell you what, if you're going to play the Mets next, you got to run on LaDuca, don't you?
Well, he's not putting his best, he's not going to throw his best stuff out there right now. He's saving that.
Well, David Wright with 4 in the final round. We'll see. 1 for his last night after a good start.
I'm tired just looking.
Well, you heard Ryan Howard say he's tired just watching. This takes a lot out of you. And whoa. And that'll take a lot out of you too right there.
It almost took the camera out of our hands.
Watch his eyes. Watch him track this ball right out front off the bat. See you later.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Quite a shot, guys. Ryan Howard, who only got into the second round by hitting 4 balls out of the yard with the gold ball with 1 out to go in the first round. And now here he is. And very interested would be James Sparks, his wife Billy. He's a hydraulics repair technician from Irving, Kentucky. Greg Longino from Lufkin, Texas, an attorney, and his wife Neela hope that David Wright's 4 hold up. The winner will get $250,000 courtesy of our sponsor tonight, Century 21.
Oh, heads up.
I mean, look out. That almost took a lens. But Ryan Howard, especially in the first round, took a while to get going, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And the little difference, the difference this time, a little more discipline. That's out of here.
Center field. Back it goes. Back. Oh, man.
He has got some kind of power.
Over the hitter's background, my goodness. That one was all the way to Latrobe. .455, Harold. Oh, this one is back, and a 2 spot for Ryan Howard. So much for not warming up quick.
I tell you, it's so funny because he's doing batting practice stuff. That first few swings, no legs, no nothing. Now he's letting it go. But that's what he'll do. You watch as he gets more mature. That's why I say he'll start pulling the ball more. When you start using your legs and your hips, that bat flies through there, you know, a little quicker. You don't even have to try to pull it.
Well, David Wright, an interesting spectator with our Bonnie Bernstein.
Oh, mercy.
David Wright and I are sitting down because David doesn't have any gas left in the tank, do you?
I'm done. I'm done.
You didn't have much before the last round, did you?
I did all that I could do. I blew it out in the first round. Yeah, rookie mistake. I'll learn from it.
Well, that's all right. You're 23. You got a few more years. If you could do it differently, second time around, how would you do it?
Probably the same thing. I mean, there's only one way to do it, and that's hard. And you know, ran out of gas a little bit, and you know, so just trying to come out here, have fun. You know, I'm going up against some of the best home run hitters in the game, so you know, they get all the credit. They deserve all the credit.
Well, Ryan was Rookie of the Year in the NL last year. The year before that, you were one of the top rookies coming up. Being in the same division, how competitive are the two of you?
Not so much. I think we came up in the minor leagues together. You know, we're pretty close. So, you know, to be able to come out here and compete against him, you know, the National League represented well. All I've been hearing all week is how, you know, the American League has dominated in interleague, the American League has dominated in the All-Star game. So it's good to have, you know, 2 National League guys in the final of the Home Run Derby.
So we'll chalk one up for the senior circuit for the time being.
For the time being, we'll see about the final decision tomorrow.
David, thanks. Guys.
All right, Bonnie, the juniors in the senior circuit, Ryan Howard and David Wright. Hey, he's just missed 3 homers, Harold.
Not that one, though.
Not that one. Wow, it clears everything in right field. Kayakers beware. So Ryan Howard, 1 behind tying, 2 behind winning the Home Run Derby. 5 outs left.
I think this is over.
Well, this one may be over our set. Look out, boys.
Just missed the left shoulder of the Crucker.
Well, you got go? They're tied now, right?
Yeah, David may as well get ready to shake his hand because this thing is over.
Harold said it best. It's over. And 5, like he said, is going to win it.
Yeah.
Told you guys listen to me.
Ryan Howard, can he do it on this swing?
Take it away, Boomer.
Abreu last year, Phillies. Ryan Howard, this year, Phillies. You talk about a flourish. Ryan Howard wins it with a 463-foot.
Oh, amazing, bro.
That was unbelievable.
What a finish.
He put on a heck of a show. You know, both these guys should be committed because I know how tired they are, but man, did Ryan put on a show at the end.
Right now? This goes out to Ramon also because he was phenomenal. He threw to a bunch of guys tonight, and he was still able to come through. I just tried to get locked in and just get good pitches and not try to make that last out.